we've just had another wave of major new details about the upcoming Crimson Desert, and the conversation around this game keeps getting bigger every time new information comes out. What started as curiosity about an ambitious open-world project is now turning into something much larger, especially with how people in the industry are talking about its potential impact. The game is getting closer to release, expectations are rising fast, and the scale of what's being described keeps pushing the idea that this could be one of the biggest releases in years. Like the video if you want exclusive gameplay of the game later on, and let's start. One of the most talked about developments comes from veteran developers in the gaming industry who recently reacted to Crimson Desert, especially ones who previously worked on Red Dead Redemption 2. And the statement immediately got attention across the industry. This game is making waves right now, much more than it ever did all these years when I talked about it. According to veteran developers like this Red Dead Redemption 2 dev, if Grand Theft Auto 6 fails to fully meet expectations or doesn't deliver that sense of wonder people are expecting, Crimson Desert could realistically take the Game of the Year crown. At this point, we've seen so much gameplay of the game, even without it being released, that we almost already know it's going to be good. The idea being discussed is that these two games could directly compete for that top spot, and that Crimson Desert is ambitious enough to challenge what many assumed would be an uncontested win for Rockstar's next release. That comparison alone says a lot about how seriously the project is being taken. It suggests that people working in the industry see Crimson Desert not just as another open world game, but as something aiming for the same level of impact and technical achievement as the biggest releases in the market. And when you look at the features being described, you start to understand why that conversation is happening. The game continues to be positioned as a massive single-player experience built around exploration, combat, and a highly detailed world called Pyro. The developers keep emphasizing that the world is designed to reward curiosity rather than guiding players through a structured checklist. Activities like cooking, crafting, mining, gathering resources, and interacting with different regions are meant to emerge naturally through exploration instead of being constantly directed by the interface. The intention is clearly to create a world that feels alive rather than one that feels like a list of objectives. One of the newest technical details that stands out is the implementation of dynamic weather systems that go far beyond simple visual changes. Weather in Crimson Desert can actually affect gameplay situations, boss encounters, and even cinematic scenes. That means storms, lighting conditions, and environmental changes aren't just background effects. They can directly shape how battles unfold and how moments in the story are presented. It suggests a world that reacts constantly rather than remaining static, which adds another layer of unpredictability to exploration and combat. The developers have also confirmed that the game will launch without microtransactions. That's a major point of interest for a project of this scale, especially considering how many large modern games rely on ongoing monetization. The focus here is clearly on delivering a complete single-player experience with a defined beginning and end rather than building a service-based model. That decision alone has generated a lot of positive reaction, particularly among players who prefer fully self-contained games. Another detail getting attention is the approach to storytelling and performance. All character voices in the game have been recorded by real actors, with full performance capture used to bring characters to life. The goal is to create more believable emotional moments and stronger narrative immersion. Combined with the cinematic direction the developers keep talking about, it shows a heavy focus on presentation and character-driven storytelling. There are also new clarifications about player freedom and morality systems. While the world allows for different approaches and playstyles, the developers have indicated that the game isn't designed around extreme evil playthroughs or fully destructive role-playing choices. The experience appears more focused on guiding players through a defined narrative journey rather than offering complete moral freedom. You can approach situations differently and develop your own style, but the story itself follows a clear direction. Combat continues to be one of the most emphasized elements. The developers describe a system built around combo-based actions, fluid transitions between moves, and expressive player control. Instead of forcing players into strict timing windows or rigid patterns, the idea is to let players develop their own fighting style through experimentation and skill. The difficulty comes from the variety of situations and enemies rather than and punishing mechanics. Interestingly, the game does not include traditional difficulty modes. Instead, players adjust to challenge through preparation, upgrading equipment, using consumables, improving abilities, and strengthening their character. That approach shifts the focus from menu-based difficulty settings to player-driven progression. Another aspect that makes the world feel unique is the mixture of different visual and thematic styles. Some regions feel grounded and historical, while others introduce unusual technology, strange environments, and even surreal elements. The developers explain that this variety comes from drawing inspiration from real-world locations where different cultures and environments coexist with radically different appearances. The intention is to make every region feel distinct and unfamiliar in its own way. Beyond the official details, industry discussions and early impressions keep highlighting the technical ambition of the project. The game runs on the Black Space engine, technology